T-Mobile announcing a major leadership change this morning. Mike Sievert, who has helped oversee the merger with Sprint a long time ago, of course, served as the CEO of the company since April of 2020. He'll be stepping down from that role, moving into a new role. He'll be vice chairman, taking the helm November 1st. Current COO, Srini Gopalan. And we have both gentlemen right here with us. Our first on CNBC interview after the announcement. Guys, nice to have you here.
Great to be here.
At Post 9. Mike, let me start with you because people can look at you and see you're young. They know you've had a track record of success. And it's somewhat unusual to have those two things aligned and then a CEO say, oh, yeah, I'm stepping down. So why?
Well, first of all, thanks for the compliment. I'm not that young. The why is really simple because Srini Gopalan's ready. And, you know, we do it a different way at T-Mobile. I was the beneficiary 6 years ago of John Ledger handing the job to me when I was ready, during a time of unprecedented success. That's how we do it. You know, you don't wait, until 2 or 3 years after the person's run out of energy and they put all their best ideas on the table and somebody taps them on the shoulder from the board. You pick your moment when the next logical successor with the vision for the future is ready to go. And hopefully you do it at a time of unbelievable success like we're experiencing right now at T-Mobile. So the wind is in the sails of the new team.
So
that is how you do
success. Is that why this is the right moment?
Absolutely. You know, our current results are unbelievable. We're at all-time records on growth. The greatest Q2 ever in our history is the one we just printed. The greatest year of growth ever in our history is the one we just printed. And we've set up the success for the future with fantastic investments around the transformation. And most importantly, we've got the bench, and we've identified the leader to take us forward, and that's Srini.
Yeah, we're going to have plenty of time to talk with him as well, and many future interviews, we hope. But, Mike, what, as executive vice chair, what do you see your role as? Because that's not something that Ledger did. When he stepped down, he took off, and that was it. So I am curious as to how you see this transition and what your responsibilities are.
And, we'll see how it goes. I mean, first of all, John did provide me lots of mentorship and advice even after stepping away. But look at strategy, I think. Part of what we do at the company is look around corners. That's one of the reasons why we are so successful. During the entirety of this Un-carrier run, we've been 2 or 3 steps ahead of our competitors. And, my view is it needs to stay that way. So if there's a role, it's to back up the team and support them to make sure that the secret sauce of the Un-carrier never gets lost in this company.
Srini, what's your plan? Is it the same? Because I know that John Ledger look, he had his plan. And I thought it was a little bit different because his was like, listen, I'm going to take on everybody. Yours was just to outperform, and you did. What's next?
Look, what comes next is really doubling down and unleashing the Un-carrier. Mike's built a fabulous company, many, many years of huge growth built on brand, culture, value. But if we're real about it, we've been constrained the last few years because we haven't always had the best network. And now T-Mobile is the best network in America. We also have kind of digital skills that are way superior to anyone else. Put all of that together, what comes next is truly unleashing the Un-carrier.
Well, congratulations to you, Mike. I do want to go back for 1 second. When everyone thought that the cycle, a couple cycles ago for Apple was tepid, you told me, Jim, it's great. And I said, no, it's tepid. And you said, Jim, who would know more, you or me? And I said, well, you. I was with Tim Cook last week. He said, look, it's a good one. Is it a good one or is it a great one?
I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on. I can't tell you what's going on at AT&T and Verizon or any place else. I can tell you T-Mobile's iPhone sales are at all-time record highs. We just had the biggest iPhone weekend. We're up double digits from a year ago. And you know what our last biggest iPhone weekend was? Last year's. We're up double digit from that launch. And not only in terms of the iPhone sales, but in terms of switching to T-Mobile. Also up this weekend, double digits. Now, it's just a weekend.
Right. Yeah.
But, this iPhone comes at a time when T-Mobile's firing at all cylinders. And that's important because we've talked for years about the fact that these are jump balls. When somebody gets a new phone, that's a chance for them to ask themselves, maybe I should have a new carrier.
I know Jeffrey said it wasn't that good, but I'm going to go with Mike over Jeffrey's.
Well, but also
he said there was some weakness in U.S., but that China was strong.
I'm questioning that piece.
You are?
Yeah.
Srini, when you say we have digital skills better than anyone else, what do you mean?
So look, even when you look at the most recent iPhone, right? What we're able to do now with T-Life, which has more than 75 million downloads, we're able to make this whole process of switching incredibly easy. Right? The process of switching today is really hard. You've got to take a ton of time out on a weekend. You've got to get your 17-year-old and your 19-year-old into store. It can be a really tough process. Now think about taking the best of digital skills and AI and actually making a process like that significantly easier. What we're trying to do is bring the best of tech to make life incredibly easy for customers so that they don't need to make trade-offs any longer. You've got the best network, best value, best experience at one place, T-Mobile.
You know, the competitive landscape during the time that Mike has been running the company has still changed. I mean, things are obviously dynamic. We've got the cable companies in the form of Comcast and Charter being very aggressive on wireless. You guys have been very aggressive on fixed wireless, more so perhaps than even many had anticipated, Mike, in terms of being able to take share from broadband. Do you continue to see this trend going forward into the future that you're going to be leading the company?
Look, there's lots of conversation about how competitive the industry is. Firstly, competitive is good for us. More jump balls, more switching. When you've got best network, best experience, best value, people naturally come to you. I think the second piece is we've got to take a step back. Wireless in the US is still a really good neighborhood. You look at the last 3 to 5 years, customers have got more. They've got 3 to 4 times more speed, 3 to 4 times more data. And all of us are doing well as an industry. Industry cash flows are up strongly, like 50% over the last 3 years. Great neighborhood, and we're in a great position to win in that neighborhood.